Good morning, everyone. Get it out, you're not totally awake. Now, by now, everyone's awake. I hear it. Okay, great. We have a special privilege, a special guest, a special opportunity this morning. I'll just tell you from a personal perspective. My three daughters who are now, Baruch Hashem, married, children, all studied in Israel after high school. They all went to a school in Israel called Nissel. You may have heard of it. Some of your parents may have even attended. And I always heard from each of them. They went at different times, different years. I heard from each of them that there was this outstanding teacher, outstanding Rabbi by the name of Rabbi Nissel, who inspired them and spoke. And every shiur they couldn't get enough. They came back with the notes and they showed me each one. And I'd never had the opportunity to meet Rabbi Nissel. And then recently I got a phone call from a colleague who told me Nissel is coming to the States. Maybe I can fit him into the school if you'd like to come. And what does Rabbi Nissel speak about? Speaks about many things. In particular, one of the things that we talk about often here, that we struggle with, we try to find ways to connect our tefillah to make it more meaningful. Rabbi Nissel has a way of helping us, inspiring us in our davening. So it's a tremendous good to present Rabbi Nissel, who came straight from Eretz Yisrael. He's here this morning, here at Yeshiva Torah. Please give him your attention. L'chaim. See, they know how to say our name. Okay, my name is Nissel. I come from a place called Yerushalayim, the holy city. This is a place that, God willing, you're all going to come and visit at some point. Maybe come and learn some Torah, and maybe you'll have me as a teacher. I teach in seminaries and I teach in yeshivas. And about 7-8 years ago, I was teaching in a yeshiva, and I went into the Beis HaMedrash, and I saw something terrifying. What did I see? In the back of the Beis HaMedrash were two of my favorite students. One of them is called Yossi Benro from Toronto, Canada. And the other one, his name was Yaakov. I'm not going to say his second name. You'll see in a moment why. And they were in the back of the Beis HaMedrash. Instead of learning Gemara, which what they were supposed to be doing, they were playing backgammon. Does anyone here know how to play backgammon? Raise your hands. Okay, we're in good shape over here. They were playing backgammon. So I'm not like a tough kind of teacher, but I went up to them and I said to them, Yossi, put that away now. Rabbi, let us just finish the game, please. It says, Yaakov, you stop that. This is disgusting. You don't play backgammon at base. Please, Rabbi, let's just finish the game. And my mind is thinking. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm not a tough teacher. I don't like to make trouble with my students. I love these boys. But you can't play backgammon in the Beis HaMedrash. So what can I do? So I came up with this brilliant idea. I said to them, Yossi, Yaakov, here's the deal. If you stop now, and if you are good boys and you open up your Gemara now, I am going to challenge one of you to a game of backgammon this lunchtime. But it's not going to be a regular game. It's going to be a game for big prizes. It's going to be a game for big stakes. Winner takes all. I said, what do you mean, Rabbi? I said, this is what I'm thinking. If you win the game, so Yossi goes, I'm going to play you, Rabbi. I'm going to play. If you win the game, Yossi, so this coming Sunday, this whole thing was happening on a Thursday, this coming Sunday is going to be Yossi's day. You become the king, and I will be your humble servant. And you can do whatever you want. You can sleep in the whole morning like a fat pig. I don't care. You can be like, these beached whales. You can be like that the whole day. Or you can walk into the Beis HaMedrash, you can do whatever you want. I'll tell you to study this, and you can say, I'm not in the mood. You can come to my class when I give my shir at 11 o'clock, and you can be totally inappropriate. So I don't know if you know what Canadians are like, but they will like give it like in the middle of the class, they'll suddenly like belch for no reason. And this is something that Canadians do. Who's Canadian here? There we go, okay? Way too much beer drinking. And Yossi, you can do what you want. You can feel at home as much as you want. If I ask you a question, you can ignore me. If you want to say something that's really stupid, and Canadians are good at that, we go back right away. 30 years we go back. But if you want, then...
And I'm still saying stupid things.
You can do what you want. But if your Rabbi wins the game, if I win the game, then I become the king. I become the king, and you become the humble servant. And if I will tell you to be in the Beis HaMedrash at 9 o'clock, you'll be there at 9 o'clock. And I'll tell you what to learn, you're going to have to learn exactly what I tell you. And when it comes to the shir time, you will sit there like a little tackle, like a good boy, and listen to everything the Rebbe is saying. And you will not burp, you will not belch, you will not be inappropriate, you will be a perfect, angelic student for the whole morning. And Yossi's going and he says, no deal. He says, why not? He says, Rebbe, I want more. What do you want? I want that if I win, that your wife is going to have to bake for me cookies. So I said, whatever, I take out my phone, I go, honey, okay, this is kind of a strange request going on over here, but I'm going to be playing backgammon with Yossi Bendel, and if he wins, then can you bake for him cookies? And he's going, I want chocolate chip. And they got to be like, and they got to be like, crunchy on the outside and soft and chewy in the middle with lots of big chocolate chips. So, my wife's saying, is this for real? Am I on candid camera? No, this is the real thing. Just understand me. This is for Torah. Okay, so we've got a deal. We've shaken it. Lunchtime, I go into my shir room, my classroom, and lo and behold, the whole yeshiva has arrived. Everyone's there. Like, they're all coming to see, it's gonna be the game of the century. Rabbi Nissel against Yossi, and like, the Rosh Hashivas are coming in, and there's a whole thing, and people are watching this thing. And then, as I sit down, I remembered something about myself. I've never won backgammon in my life. I mean, some people, they say, lucky in love, unlucky in cards, so I'm unlucky in every single game I lose to my 8-year-old daughter. She beats me in chess. I mean, it's insane. I don't win anything. And if you know about backgammon, it's all about getting those doubles. And so this is it. So this is it. The game starts, and I take the whole thing. I say, Kodesh Baruch Hu, here we go. You got a 2 and a 1. And Yossi gets a double 6. And this sets the tone for the game. And within minutes, he is creaming, he is crushing me down. And what's your name over here? Liat. Okay, so Liat walks into the room, and she whispers, this is Rabbi Nissel, if you were smart, you would resign right now. This is not your day over here. Resign with dignity. Just, forget about it. And everyone's looking at me. I barely started the game, and he looks like he's about to finish. And then the following thing happened, that no one in my yeshiva will ever forget this, is that Yaakov, who comes from Long Island, he looks at me and he says, and everyone hears him say this, he says, Rabbi, so where's your God now? And everyone goes, It's like silence in the room. And in the distance, a dog barks. And everyone's saying, oh my gosh, this is so scary. And at this point now, I look at Kodesh Baruch Hu. Suddenly, this game of backgammon has become something religious in your honor. This is Eliyahu at Mount Carmel. I have to win this game. I said, Kodesh Baruch Hu, what do I normally ask you for? I ask, to heal the sick people in this world. I ask you to bring Mashiach. I ask you that I should be able to, to support my family with honor. For once, I'm going to ask for something really stupid. I want to win this game. Hashem, you hear me? This is what I want. I look up, take this thing, throw it down, I get my first doubles. It's like a double full. Yossi goes, he gets a 2 and a 1. And after that, something happened that is statistically impossible. All I'm getting is double and doubles and doubles. I don't know if you know mathematics, but these things, is there a math teacher here? When you start getting doubles all the time, people are looking at you, what is going on? I'm incapable of getting anything except for a double. And Yossi's getting like a 3 and a 2. Liat walks in again and says, Rabbi Nissel, not bad. This looks like a miracle's happening over here. And then suddenly, out of the blue, the following happens. It is my turn. And I have 4 pieces left. And Yossi has only 2. And if I get a double 5 or a double 6, I get to win the game. And then Yossi would just go like, anything he throws, he's won the game. You could feel the silence in the room. Everyone is watching me. And I take the dice, and I look up to Shemayim, and I say, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you're pretty amazing. Remember you split the sea? That was pretty good. Remember the 10 plagues. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, did I ever tell you that my favorite was the frogs? I love the ribbit. It is such a great plague. You know, the one that jumped into people's stomachs and made those burping sounds. I love that, okay? HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you're the one that saved Daniel when he was in the lion's den. You took out Avram Avinu from the fiery furnace. And all I'm asking for is a double 6. You can do this, God. You're HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And I take the dice and I throw it down. It's a double 6. And the place is going crazy. Everyone's going like Hashem, Hu Aleichem. And they're all, like accepting the yoke of heaven. And everyone's like, this is they're cheering for me. And this is the most incredible thing. And there's Yaakov, he's checking the dice. He's got to be cheating. And there's Yossi, with his head between his knees, and he's going, cookies. I just wanted cookies. Luckily, I called up my good wife, and I said to her, we need to celebrate. I told her, I can't explain this, but can you make cookies for the whole class? And she says to me, whatever. Okay, I'm just giving up over here. And Baruch Hashem, we got to celebrate, and we lived happily ever after. And now comes my big question that I want to ask. It's a true story. Everyone told Yossi Benel is now married, living in Miami. And I asked him specifically if I could use his name. If you're stuck in Miami and you see a Yossi, he's tall and thin, kind of goofy looking. So make sure you tell him you're the one from the backgammon story. That was me. But what can we learn from this story that we didn't really know until now about the nature of tefillah? Anybody want to suggest something unusual that we learned from this story? I want to suggest 3 things. First of all, tell me your name. Leah.
Okay. If you daven for important things, like make sure people get healed, and then other stuff like important stuff like that, and you just ask, very limited. You ask for other things. Hashem will do it for you because you're first caring for others.
Fantastic. Did you hear what Leah is saying over here? You guys have to listen to your friend. Leah's amazing. Okay, I'll say over in a moment what we said, but I want to hear something from the boys' side. Any of the boys, any of this gender over here, has something intelligent to share with us. You can do it. Is that a handout? What's your name with the green kippah? Oh, yeah, that's it. You. What do you learn from this story? Don't turn around and pretend that you don't know what the story is. Okay, the only one that's not wearing a heart or anything, there we go. What did you learn from my story? Okay, I'm telling you what you're secretly thinking, but you're too modest to say it. Let me tell you. Basically, I want to say 3 things. There are 3 things that you learn from the story, and each one of them is equally important. First of all, ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to teach you the most important thing that you've learned so far in this class, and that is the following. What is the definition of tefillah? What is tefillah about? And the answer is, no, I'm going to give you my definition. Tefillah is asking Hashem for miracles. Is asking Hashem to throw double sixes. What do I mean? Because let's say someone is sick, so go to the doctors. Let's say someone is sick, find out what the medical records are. And then you don't have to daven because, the doctors can take care of things. Well, guess what? Exactly this is the point. The moment that the doctors give up, that's when Hashem comes in. All of miracles is asking for something that is impossible. Who can I pick on over here? You with the green stripes over here. You look like you're very intelligent. You with the white stripes. I know this is confusing. Let me ask you a question. I learned in a yeshiva called the Mir Yeshiva. You ever heard of it? 5,000 boys are learning together. Maybe one day you'll learn that. The Mir Yeshiva. 5,000 boys. They are not particularly strong. They walk around with their Gemaras like this because they're always learning Torah. They're kind of feeble looking. You could take them on and in a wrestling match and probably deck them in a moment. Do you think that they could fight the American army and win? What's your name, please? Daniel in green. Do you think they could take on the American army and win? 5,000 yeshiva bachrim, each one more feeble and weedy looking than the next. Can they take on the American army? What? Well, did it ever happen in history that a bunch of feeble, weak people took on an army and they won? A Hanukkah! My gosh! What makes us think of Hanukkah? Maybe because it's next week. Well, did you know that this is the way that they did it? The way that they succeeded was only by asking Hashem for miracle after miracle after miracle. There is no way that they could have done it on their own. That's why, Daniel, you're not listening. There we go. That's why, Daniel, when you're going to be davening the end of next week, you're going to be saying, Giborim, strong, powerful, American soul with pectoral muscles and abs of steel. Against Chalashim, feeble, weak, yeshiva bachrim who learn Torah day and night. Who won the yeshiva bachrim? It's a miracle. But when you daven for the statistically impossible, for things that you think you can't daven for, HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, I'll let you into a little secret. I am the one that controls the rules of nature. I am the one that does the statistics. I decide that smart people make more money than stupid people. I decide that faster people, can get more, can go further than slow people. Big armies crush little armies. That people that the doctors say will not survive an operation, I can make them survive. I can do anything. I created nature. I can interfere with nature. That can only happen with tefillah. That's the power of davening. And now I'm going to tell you the second thing that we learned from my story. And this is something that you don't really think about. And the second thing we learned from the story is that when you think, what should you daven for? What should you daven for? So you daven for Yerushalayim, and you daven for Mashiach to come. But you know what? You can daven for whatever you want. You can even daven for stupid things. You can even daven to win a game. You know why you should daven for these things? Because they're bothering you. And Hashem can interfere. Yesterday, I got on a plane. In the morning, I woke up in a place called Berlin, Germany. Ja, ich komme from Deutschland. Yeah, no Balkan. I was in Germany for Shabbos, teaching the students there. And I got on a plane, and before I got on the plane, I davened to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, please make it. Now, for Rabbi Nissel, I have a strange request from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Number one, that I should not deal with stupid people when I'm putting in my suitcases. And number two, the person sitting next to me should not smell. Okay, so if you find it funny, it's not funny when it happens to you. I have sat next to people who have not taken a shower in about 17 years, and they smell, like a rotting carcass, and you can see that within 100 yards, all the little furry animals are like dead. from the stink. And then you sit next to them. So I davened yesterday morning that I should sit next to someone who took a shower that morning. But I forgot to daven, okay, you ready for this? That the person sitting next to me should actually give me armrest room. I sat next to a lady. She was a very fine lady, but I don't know how to say this nicely, she needed 2 seats. She had her elbow in my pipik, right over here. I wasn't going anywhere. It was the scariest thing. The stewardess looked at me and said to me, sir, okay, you don't need a seatbelt. You're okay. And forget about these things. You have to remember to daven for everything. It doesn't matter if it bothers you. If you have a roommate and your roommate doesn't shower and you ask Hashem, introduce my roommate to the concept of taking a shower, okay? He shouldn't just, spray himself with deodorant once a week. That's a tefillah. I bet you that there are boys on this side that secretly would like to daven for a sports team. Yeah. Well, you know what? You're allowed to. If that's what's on your mind, that's fine. Except you have to remember, if you're going to daven for a sports team, you've got to remember that one day you should daven for big things as well. The third thing that you have to remember is that davening is not just the Shemona Esrei. It's not just when you go to shul. You can daven wherever you go. This is something that I'm going to be doing in a few hours. I'm going to be davening. I want to find parking in Manhattan. Okay, so the adults over here, yeah, my gosh, that's a real miracle. It's probably more than splitting the seat. This is unbelievable. I can daven whatever I want, wherever I want. You don't just have to daven in shul or with a sitter open. You can daven wherever you want, whenever you want. That is what tefillah is all about. And now I'm going to give you a challenge, and with this I'm going to end. I am going to give you all a challenge. But I'm going to come back next year, maybe, or I'll have my spies over here. They're going to be spying. I want to challenge you. If you could do the following thing. I want you to remember that a rabbi came from Yerushalayim through Germany, and he told a funny story, but the message was not funny at all. The message is very real. Because you're not allowed to think of yourselves as children. You are legally children, but in Hashem's eyes, there's no difference between each one of you and the most important people in the world. In Hashem's eyes, you are the most important person. Especially Vitam and Leah and Daniel and whoever it is that I pick on. You are HaKadosh Baruch Hu's heroes. HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants to hear your voice. And you have to remember that if something is bothering you, you should tell him about it. You should talk to him. It doesn't have to be in davening. But here is my challenge. Does everyone in this room say a Shemona Esrei once a day? I hope you all do. One Shemona Esrei, at least, maybe 2, ideally 3. But if you daven a Shemona Esrei, and you're going to say the words, so you don't really necessarily understand what you're saying. Just a refrainer, you daven for someone, that's it. You have all kinds of beautiful tefillos in there. At the end, you take your 3 steps back. At the end, you go like this. 1, 2, 3. I don't know what those hands. And you go, Asishon, Gurma, Asishon, and then like this. Now I'm going to challenge you. Every person in this room, starting from today, I'm challenging you. Before you take your 3 steps backwards, at the end of your davening, you stop. And you remember that ridiculous rabbi from Jerusalem. And you ask yourself, what is really, really on my mind? What is stressing me? What really bothers me? And think about the 3 things that bother you. And I'm telling you now, at least 1 or 2 could be things that are stupid. Be honest. There are things on your mind. I bet you there are girls over here that have social issues. Because they're 8th graders. And the girl that's 2 steps away from me, she said to me, you're ugly, and I don't want to forgive her, and like all these stresses that go on in your lives over there. Well, you know what? Hashem cares about these things as well. If it's upsetting you, if you don't like the way that your nose looks, you can tell Hashem anything. This is something, don't cover your nose. You can tell Hashem anything. I challenge you. Okay, that will hit your core with the nose. 3 things. Think of 3 things that really, really bother you in your personal life. Make sure that one of them is real. For example, okay, let's say your father has difficulty with his job. Let's say you have a grandparent that's very, very sick. Let's say you have an older sister that wants to get married and she's been trying for many years and she can't find a marriage partner. Let's say you have a cousin that's been married for many years and they can't have children. Let's say that you know someone who comes from a good home and they're not religious anymore and you feel bad for them. You can turn to Hashem and ask Hakadosh Baruch Hu in English. Speak to Hashem in English or in whatever, Italian, whatever. You speak in Italian. Is what is good for you. Whatever is working for you, you tell Hashem and tell Hakadosh Baruch Hu, this is what's on my mind. 1 real thing and 2 stupid things. 2 things. I have a final. I have a test tomorrow. I have a test on English, mathematics, Kodesh, and I want the good questions to come up. The questions that I prepared for. Hashem will give you miracles. I'm challenging you that you will see the most incredible things happening. And if by chance Hashem doesn't answer you, you should know it's not because He's not listening. Oh boy, is He listening. The Baruch Hu says, you know why I can't answer you? Because I need your tefillas for something even more important. Sometimes Hashem takes His tefillah and says no to what you're saying because He needs it. I'm sorry, because there's an Israeli soldier that needs to be protected, and I'm redirecting your tefillos for reasons that I can discuss to you when you come to learn in seminary or yeshiva. These are things where Hashem does. But overwhelmingly expect Hashem to say yes. Okay, so let's summarize what we learned. I told you 3 things, and I'm giving you a message. The first thing is the definition of tefillah. You tell HaKadosh Baruch Hu, when you can't take care of your own life, and things don't seem to be going the way you want to, Hashem, interfere, give me a 6. Give me a miracle. Interfere with nature. Tefillah is standing for Hashem. I cannot survive without you. I need you to interfere. Number 2, you can ask HaKadosh Baruch Hu for anything you want. And if you look inside your brain for a moment and see what's stressing you, a lot of them are very, very silly, small little things. Like your roommate's foot odor. These things can bother you. And thirdly, and finally, you don't have to wait till you're Shemona Esrei. Wherever you are, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, 24 hours a day, He's listening because He loves us so much. And He loves each one of you so much. You're such a hero. You're so important in His eyes. He's always ready to listen to what you have to say. Just like your parents love you, HaKadosh Baruch Hu loves you 1,000 times more, 1,000,000 times more. And my suggestion to you, and remember this suggestion, is to challenge me. Yes, you gonna do this? Remember that. Okay, what's your name? Dobby's gonna do this. He's gonna take his 3 steps back. Before he does, he's gonna say, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, number 1, this is something really important for me, and this is really important for me, and this is important for everyone. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, will you do it? And if you do it for real, it's gonna happen. You'll see. Amen. Wonderful. Thank you so much for being such a wonderful group.
For sharing with us, coming, both entertaining and inspiring. That's a very special talent to be able to both entertain and to inspire. And I think Rabbi Nissel was successful in both. Yeshikah, thank you so much. I hope with Hashem that the message stays with us and that we all take on the challenge that Rabbi Nissel put before us, recognizing that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is waiting for us. He wants to hear us. He wants our tefillot. Yirtzeh Hashem, when we see that if we're sincere and we turn to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that our tefillot are going to be answered, that inspires us to turn more to Hashem, recognizing that He is there for us. Yirtzeh Hashem. 8th grade girls, have a wonderful day.